Hello, everybody. This is Matt Fick from Financial Life Planners, and this is your stock market update for the week of April 14th, 2026. The news in the stock market is a little bit different than what we've had in the past couple of weeks. So, I wanted to talk to you about what spurred this reversal in the market and what we're looking at on our end. I'll start today by looking at the charts like we normally do and talk about a little bit of what happened and when. Okay, and here's a chart of the S&P 500. And as you can see, and as I'm sure all of you are aware, since the start of the Iran war at the beginning of March-ish, February 28th, I think specifically, there has been a pretty solid decline in the value of the S&P 500. But recently, in the past week and a half or so, we've seen a pop up, and we're sitting just below all-time highs that we saw in October of last year. And here's the NASDAQ, again, tech-weighted companies, and largely the same thing. It's also important to note, based off of some of the analysis we've done on these videos with you over time, we wanted to see some support around this 200-day moving average. And here's showing the same thing on the S&P 500 again. We definitely dip below the 200-day moving average, but not for a lengthy enough period of time. You can see these shorter trend lines reversing pretty quickly, and that's kind of that 6,500 range is where we wanted to see a bounce up. And so that's a positive sign that we're seeing that right now. It's important to note that tech has really led this reversal. The Dow Jones is still lagging a little bit behind its high, but it's also important to notice that that high was in February of this year and not October of last year, like we had with the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And specifically in tech, we're really seeing the Mag 7 do quite well, about a 3% pop today, after also being one of the groups that got hit harder during this downturn. So, kind of a flight to those bigger mega cap names, like Cynthia and I had mentioned, we might see. So, what is going on that has caused this reversal? There are a couple things. Largely, this is due to the ceasefire in Iran, and that has slowed its progression. But there still is a little bit of uncertainty of how that ceasefire is going to progress. There has been a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. And that's where we're sitting at now. So there's still a lot of uncertainty with how that's going to pan out. But this initial attempt for a ceasefire seems to have bolstered the market in the right direction. It is paired with some strong earnings from companies like Goldman Sachs and other financial companies at the beginning of this week have really made a move towards the positive and boosted investor confidence. Even in a down quarter, we're seeing positive earnings, which has been the case. We've seen positive earnings overall in the S&P 500 for a while now, since this bull market has been a thing. So that has reaffirmed some investor confidence in the market and really led this rally. All that being said, I'm sure one of the first questions on a lot of people's minds are, okay, when are we going to jump on this rally? Well, we're cautious on the downside, and we're going to be a little cautious getting back into the market on the upside. That, like I mentioned, there's still some uncertainty with what's going on in Iran, which kind of spurred this downturn that we had in March, and that still hasn't been resolved. So we're going to be prudent in investing this money into the market for people who have more cash right now. But you may see that some of your cash is slowly being invested back in the market if this rally continues to have legs. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Overall, to recap, this is an optimistic sign, and we're happy to see that we found support at the numbers we were expecting to find support at, and the money is flowing in the directions that we thought it might if we did see a rally. But just want to confirm this before making any large decisions. As always, feel free to reach out to us if you need anything by phone or by email, and we'll talk to you next week. All right, bye bye.